The 15th of August 2017. Assumption. The royal speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queen. Welcome. At this stage of my life, each speech can be the last. So perhaps it is worthwhile to have a look at the core of the problem. From time immemorial, the identity of the Virgin, like mine, has accompanied humankind in their earthly travel. It is possible the identity has a status of her own on other life-bearing planets as well. In the ancient times, there was an attempt at the coexistence of the two, the archetypical virgin and the archetypical whore, the first aspiring to spiritual heights, the latter carnal, seeking bodily pleasures. Each has a different command of life. As the history of humankind was developing, there was a period of utter suppression of the karma, not necessarily accompanied by the consistent sanctity in the rule givers. The suppression was often related to the suppression of the quest for knowledge, beyond what is said on the ideological plane, and so some have grown to believe that the two come together. The false conviction arising from the real-life experience of opposing oppressive authorities has left us with a dichotomy between the free fall and the subdued virgin. There's an infernal trick in it, perhaps designed as the actual block to knowledge, wherein the virgin falls a prey to the carnal, like the Shakespearean Miranda, endangered by the carnal Caliban. To put it simply, the devil created the alternative. Either you are a whore and know, or you are a virgin, belonging to the lower order of the uninitiated. Needless to say, this is a devil's game that has nothing to do with the actual life, including my royal life. As the history has been developing, some of humans were more potent spiritually than others, and so they united and established the rule of the planet Earth on their terms. They would dictate the rules of initiation into knowledge and design personal histories. Hard to imagine a more suppressive action in life. We have reached the point where the personal histories are not only designed for future, but actually changed backwards by physical actions of a highly criminal nature. The arrogance of the current rulers goes far enough to change people's bodies, to interfere with the mother nature, providing us naturally with the body we have from our parents. In some cases, like mine, chosen particularly; in others, perhaps destiny. The body we have from our parents is directly related to our spiritual development. Therefore, whatsoever replacement of it with other people's body parts, instead of our own, to equip someone else, mergers that create connections with other bodies are unforgivable. At the state-of-the-art knowledge of medicine, we can face moral dilemmas in the area of transplantation. immediately evoking questions about possible criminality behind the deaths of the donors or their consent decisions. Were they deaths or the mighties in need? Furthermore, we have arrived at the era of cloning and a series of ethical points related to the Frankenstein, their nature, and their rights. After all, one is dealing with life. I have checked immediate reference points concerning the assumption. To start with, the Holy Virgin was assumed in both the spirit and the body, her own. Secondly, we cherish her as patroness of the earth and the vivacious flora. The observance creates a vista for the consistent reflection to accompany the celebration of nature. It is the right time to think about the people in power giving their consent to no less than a crime against humanity and considering it modernity. Needless to say, this is perversion, a bestial departure from nature. We can only lose. All forms of life have fallen victims to the lack of ethics in science, flora, fauna, and human beings. It is high time to act. The earth has suffered from pollution and exploitation, depletion of resources, therein deforestation. A significant part of the pollution comes from digitalization. The digit-sphere-free spots on Earth are rare. Raise your banners with a loud no, then hide, for our enemies are murderers. There has never been a time more appropriate and urgent for the spiritual breakthrough, where the power of our spirits must win over the heart and emanate the world worth living in. We have no choice. Otherwise, we shall end up with zombies and the few spirits of the evil nature, parasitic, ignoble, mean, egoistic, criminal murderers. I call upon you to take your life in your brains and create out of the soul of souls the world of spiritual beauty. Whichever religion you are, whichever denomination you are, make the spirit strong and overpowering. Let it live in your works. You are potential geniuses, by which is meant the ability of creation beyond the ordinary. If you like drawing flowers on a piece of paper or at the end of your copybook, draw a masterpiece on huge canvas and make it sacred. If you rhyme for fun, write an epic. If you sing in the bathroom and do have the voice, sing Alleluia or Bogurodzice, the Theotokos, and record it for the generations to come. If you make movies, get rid of the special effects, make them beautiful, give them a soul, from the roots to the crowns, the spoken and the unspoken. Make it last. If you philosophize, by which I mean giving into those broodings, criticism, and bright ideas that no one puts to any use whatsoever, sit down, take a white sheet of paper, and turn them into magna opera. When you pray, be with God. In other words, turn the spiritual into a life of their own. My opus magnum is the noble Queendom of Apipolitana, a world of my own, created as a solution to the unbearable world created for us by the rulers up to December 2013, when I started the creation, with the foundation of the royal capital city named Agripolis. So far, I have been focusing on what I have always been best at, the academic line, organizing a cognitive framework for the new world. The real-life experience and the war waged against me by the disproportionate powers resulted in the next step, which is the creation of the new Poland, the free Poland, and the initiation of the change of the rule on the planet Earth, giving it back to the ancient royals as the Holy Queendom. To all appearances, the extraterrestrials' rule has decided to give a chance to the female, which redefines the course of history. To put it straight, in the modern times, there will be no need to speak about King Jadwiga of Poland, for the woman will be female, thus the queen. Another change coming is the liberation from the mob, the former people, to be replaced in daily use by persons. It seems the English language has been given a special status, perhaps through the powerful rule of the Elizabeth I, the Virgin, perhaps for other reasons. Should the identity be the key to changes, the empire needs to make up for the damage done in terms of other nations and persons' identity being messed up with by the superpower. The White Revolution I started in 2015 gives the sacred bed their sacred status, reestablishes the taboo. There is a huge fight we need to win. We want the rainbow to be the spectral phenomenon in the sky once the sun meets the rain, not a homosexual brand. We want to wear sweaters that show colors and have no LGBT connotations. We want colors to mean the green of the leaves and the brown of the bark of the tree. The pentagram to connote with the Solomon, not the devil. The black to be the color of detachment and not the color of the evil. The blue to make us think of the sky and heavens above in the light of the day, and not of the left wing in the USA. The red to associate with light, and not the death from the communist hands. The swastika to go back to India and come back again as a symbol of well-being rather than the fascist threat. Wherever you look, you have symbols redefined to deprive you of the beauty and pleasure of life. The number of enslaved animals is unthinkable. The Black Panther's yellow eyes at night is not a racist black man coming to kill you, or a whore arriving to before you, but the sacred black leopard coming to save you. Once we redefine, we must make them strong through the liberation of the spirit and our own. They fear. Conquer the enemy. Sadly, the pervert, the ignoble, the mean, the false have permeated every sphere of life. Normally acting as frauds, they may appear in holy orders as well as in brothels. The Pope allowing rapes on a virgin is no longer the infallible. He is a tool of evil. We need to be aware of it. The right wing, talking about God, family, and virtues, and leaving Satan, advancement through blowjobs, and criminality, has nothing to do with the right wing, for he or she has assumed the ways of the left wing in their life. even if the speech carries the meanings we want to live. Take the speech, replace the leader with a truthful one. Until you can do it, go underground. For the war we have been living, aware of it or not, is unequal at this stage. And we need to get really strong. I know we shall win, even if I were to celebrate the victory posthumously. Recently, I have been given a new idea, namely the idea of the syndicate. Originally in the dark, I started searching, and I arrived at the explanation of the word syndic. They established a direct contact with me. I remained in my spumatum, that is a state of suspended judgment, including the suspension of the clear definition. I can share with you now what I think it really is. No matter what syndicates have come into being since the very first establishment of the presence on the planet Earth. I believe the syndicate is some ruling body over the planet Earth belonging to the outer space. Now and again, they send syndics to the planet Earth, perhaps to other planets as well. Syndics are the representatives. It does not matter what profession you are or what religions, you have the Holy Creed inside, and it is intuitive. It shows through your works and your attitudes. First of all, you feel responsible for the humankind personally, and you live it. Secondly, being aware of the responsibility, you do a great job to the best of your ability, skill, and general competence in life. Thirdly, you are truthful. All syndics are spiritual beings. It goes beyond the professional. You participate in the divine order like the Opus Dei, but you do not need to affiliate with any religious organization at all. I believe the original syndics have been replaced by the Illuminati, who now claim they are the value. Perhaps not necessarily the truthful, for they have the role of guarding the secrets of their mastery. This is a catch. Once you display the value, they tell you you are an Illuminati and take you in, then degrade you, then subdue you, then take over your life and turn you into a slave. No syndic would do that. Speaking of redefinitions, the notion of the commune has traveled a long way from the positive connotation with the uniting sense of belonging and participating in the creation of the best for all, to the negative incorporation into the mediocre mass that deprives the all of the best, for it is wasted. The criminal rulers remain intact. I read the conduct as a support for the change I create, if not the whole. Incidentally, what have they done to the word call? Originally meaning the call for the holy orders, for instance, priesthood or nunhood, in service to God, or the call for humanitarian work, like that of the teacher or the diplomat, the vocation professions. It takes a blind man not to see the left wing is a tyranny, so we must conquer it. The sooner, the better. But let us not die as martyrs before we are able to effect the change, thus sacrificing the future of the very humankind we want to save, at the same time saving the planet Earth. Sure, there might be other planets, but none of them will be the planet Earth. There have been lessons I have learned, and as I said, the Buddha, this Buddha, me, is going back to the palace. This is a new spiritual development. We used to be above, never stepping down to the mob. In many cases, we might have been unfair. Some of us have been cruel, some pervert themselves. There have been crowds working towards our downfall, with the final result of the royalty losing our position and democracies taking over as a just representation of the people. We have had ages of lessons in the democratic rule, and it boils down to the same thing. Some of them have been unfair, some have become cruel, some pervert themselves. The all-decisive difference consists in us being the real elites, whereas the mob heroes are but a pretense, which they have proved beyond the least doubt in mine and my mother's case. The concerted murder of the innocent. Perhaps, or perhaps not quite. They say I have not been born in a royal family. Perhaps, or perhaps not quite. But I have lived their life, and I am still living it. More now than at any other time. Like the original Buddha, I have stepped down. You have taught me the lesson. Out of this royal identity, with the new strength coming from a creation of my own intellectual and spiritual movement with the potential to become a political party, thus actually a party instead of an assembly, the Free Poland, with the patroness in the person of the Polish Queen Jadwiga, I ventured the change of matrix. Currently, I am in danger of being locked in a psychiatric hospital or institution with a damaged brain and incapacitation to follow. So I really focus on the most important actions, the actions vital for my spiritual future, as well as vital for my life missions this lifetime. In the middle of the torture, I sat on my balcony, played navras, and created new anchors for the new matrix, the white one. I had been empowered by the sun, in a direct connection to the energy passing through my body, significantly enough, the sun can create a night. But this is a peaceful night, with the yellow sun shining eyes. Let me quote some of the anchor points I have come up with as the anchors for the Holy Queendom. We have Our Lady of Perpetual Health coming from the medal I wear. This is the medal. Shining in the sun with Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel. The Black Madonna of Częstochowa. The Eucharist protected by the artwork in gold with the protective glass. All kinds of ornamental holy crosses from all over the world, as well as a modest holy cross in a countryside house representing the folk. John Paul II and other popes. The white sculpture of Jesus Christ on the rock in Argentina. The Statue of Liberty in the USA, which, that one beyond my control, merged with the figure carrying the torch in St. Hill. The Cathedral of Vasily the Blessed in Russia and the Westminster Abbey Cathedral in London. The Tatra Mountains through my childhood picture where I am standing between two shepherds, the Polish Tatra sheepdogs, as my guardians, stable and confident already as a child. The Jewish home with the gold monara, a secluded room from the home. Peaceful, pure, quiet, sacred, the Austrian monarchy, through the decorative box, probably with jewelry in it, sculptured reliefs in Peru rocks, and the Egyptian pyramids, Tutankhamun, Buddha in gold, the ancient Eastern architecture through the roof of the ancient house, the symbol of Tai Chi and the dragon as a positive creature, the three kingdoms, a warrior's white horse leading the army in a war, me as the warrior riding it, and the Pakistani flags fluttering in the wind, the Amerindian at his teepee, and the aboriginal forest at night, anywhere, with the yellow eyes in the dark, peaceful, shining the sun. I am in the center, and hereby I announce the beginning of the new epoch in the Arabian life, the Holy Queendom. Currently, the symbols might be still dirty through the horror and Caliban world attack on my pure virginal life, getting an access to my body, permeating it with their disgusting life. Still, in time, it will clear up when their death will be effected as the divine judgment in the event of there being no human justice done, and I shall regain my life. Should I die before the event, the noble queendom of Britannia, the emanation of me, the virginal queen, will survive and live, creating the holy queendom life, which I shall take over next lifetime wiser, no tolerance. Ladies and gentlemen, let us rejoice. The Virgin is winning. Even horses want to be connected to me. More than that, they want to be me, alas. Thank you for your attention. Agnieszka Justicja, the first of Britannia, the Virginal Queen.